Welcome to another episode of the Sales Transformation Podcast. On this episode, we have a fantastic guest joining us, Mike Swigunski, a best-selling author and nomadic entrepreneur. Mike will be sharing his expertise on building trust through content creation. Let's dig right into it. Here's our host, Colin Mitchell.
Very excited today to have Mike Swigunski on. Mike is a best-selling author and nomadic entrepreneur. Mike is the mastermind behind the Global Career and recognized authority in the remote work industry. His book, Global Career, How to Work Anywhere and Travel Forever, underscores his digital acumen and transformative impact in the remote work realm. Mike, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Yeah, doing fantastic, Colin. I'm calling in from overseas in the Republic of Georgia in a small city of Tbilisi.
Yeah, and that's your home base, right there?
Yeah, so I've been based here for about 3 years and kind of use it as a travel hub. Spent about 6 to 9 months here a year, depends. Actually heading to Cyprus in a couple days to celebrate a friend's birthday this weekend. So looking forward to that.
Awesome. Well, you have a very interesting story, experience, and now you're kind of sharing it with others. So really excited to have you on. This is not, something that we've talked about before and haven't had somebody on with, this type of lifestyle that you have that I think a lot of people would love to learn more about as well. But, the thing that we kind of discussed that we were going to talk about is, the art of the digital deal, buying and selling over 120 million in online transactions. So why don't you kick us off? And I'm sure I'll have a ton of questions that we can dig into from there.
Yeah, so it's been a fascinating journey of kind of working and traveling around the world for the past decade. And my journey started off, my first job out of college was teaching financial economics at a university in Prague. And I'll give kind of the short Cliff Notes version. So I started working locally overseas and then transitioned to working for startups in sales and marketing. And that was kind of a one-way path to getting a remote job. And one of the companies that I started working with as a early employee was for Empire Flippers. And so when I joined the company, I was employee number 4, and we started doing deals that were $25,000, $50,000. A six-figure deal for us at the time was a huge deal, right? And over the 4 years that I was there, we started going from these smaller deals to bigger deals, and it taught me a lot of valuable lessons about sales, marketing, trust, how to have a big impact, how to build trust remotely. We weren't selling these $1 million businesses face to face like a realtor in most cases. We were having to do it over the phone. And then to scale, you have to teach other people who aren't the founders and who aren't the early employees how to do this. So there's a lot of techniques that we utilized, and there's a lot of techniques that I've brought into my own businesses. And one of the biggest and most powerful things to build relationships is you can still have the online component, but some of my biggest deals that I've done in the $4 to $5 million range have gone from buying a $100 bar tab, creating a networking event, and saying, hey guys, first few rounds are on me. And this creates a really nice networking dynamic. By spending a few $100s to buy people a round of drinks, you're getting some of those people. You need to invite the right people, the right network there. But once you get them there, they kind of are really thankful for just buying that first round, right? You're kind of the center of attention. And I would always approach these networking events as, hey, I'm going to bring a few friends. I'll buy the drinks. You just hype me up, kind of tell people what I'm doing. And there's not really like a sales pitch. I didn't go in with like, hey, I want to be the person who's going to sell your business. It's a very long sales process, sometimes 2 to 3 years for an entrepreneur to kind of package and want to exit their business. So it's just essentially building strong relations, getting people's information, staying in touch, and kind of positioning yourself as the expert in this industry. And so that's kind of how the journey's been. And it's been a very exciting one because I've seen every way the internet is monetized, sold every type of business out there. So the internet's almost ruined for me, but for every con, there's like 10 plus sides for it.
Yeah. And so, how did that those experiences of, realizing, hey, getting the right people in the room, buying the first round of drinks, and obviously, there's the whole role of reciprocity, right? Where people, want to, you do something for them, they feel like they want to do something for you, right? So just curious, how that turned into leading you to, doing these large transactions.
Yeah, so I think that's the simplified version. There's a lot more that goes into it. And for me, it's just always being relevant, always being top of mind. I personally produce a lot of video content. And before somebody even gets on the phone with me, they know about my story. They know about my book I've published on Forbes and Entrepreneur. They've kind of gone through and read a lot of this stuff because people are smart and savvy now, especially multi-million-dollar business owners. So they're Googling you, they're doing research before they get on the phone call with you, and they've watched 10 hours of video content that you've produced, so they feel like they already know you, and it's very powerful because imagine having 10 sales calls with this person before they get on the first call with you. They're already pre-sold, and it's just the power of creating content. And Colin, you probably experience this all the time. Like you're producing so much good, quality, valuable content, and people are getting to know you that when they talk to you for the first time, they almost feel like they know you. You've made 600 podcast episodes. So it's one of these things where if you're creating the right content, attracting the right audience, those videos and those pieces of content are going to do a lot of the sales and marketing for you.
Yeah. I mean, content is a huge strategy of, building trust with these people, right? And there's people who do it right and people who don't, right? There's a lot of people who, build this online persona of may not be necessarily, as authentic as you would think. So I think that the key there is like creating content, having sort of this digital presence online, being consistent, like consistently showing up and adding value, is a very powerful tool for sales and marketers, if done right. But how did you get started in content, and what's kind of your strategy and thoughts around, what you do in order to build trust online?
Yeah, great question. So I got started with a travel blog and I built my first website. And the reason I got started with it because I was living overseas. I was kind of known in my network as like the travel guy. I was a leader for a study abroad program for a university. So I was just very well known as like, if you're traveling somewhere, ask Mike kind of what to do, where to go. And people were messaging me, especially since I lived in Prague for a few years. Hey, where should I go? What should I eat? Where's the best nightlife? And I was sending these huge Facebook messages to people. And eventually I was like, man, people are really curious about this. So I was like, okay, instead of sending these long, Facebook messages, I'll just make a blog post, have like links, maps, photos, like all these other things that are way better. And, I can send them the blog post and put a lot more effort into it. And it'll be a lot more valuable for the person that's going to that new city. And that's kind of how I first got it started with creating content. And it's really transformed from, writing books, written content to now I'm just very bullish on video content. I think if you look at any platform, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they're all kind of prioritizing video content. And it's a great thing to do, but it's hard. It's not easy. So there's a lot more elements to it. And that's something that I've kind of realized that the type of video content or the type of content you're creating needs to meet what your audience wanted. And the way I've kind of figured out this was I have an email list around 45,000 people. And I was getting ready to start a podcast. And I love podcasting. But before I do this, let me survey my audience and see what they want. Where are they hanging out? Where's my audience of 45,000 people hanging out? And they drastically said on YouTube. So that's why I was like, okay, light bulb moment. Let's create content on YouTube because my audience is there. My customers are there. So there's going to be other people like them hanging out on those platforms. And if you don't have a big audience, you can go to Facebook groups or figure out kind of your target audience and incentivize people to take a survey and figure out where they're hanging out to figure out what type of content. And so that's why I started creating YouTube content. And YouTube is very powerful because it essentially finds the right viewer for your type of content. And yeah, it's been a fantastic journey, something I'm still learning a lot about, but it's every week I'm creating new content and absolutely love the journey.
Yeah. Wow. Couple of key important things there, right? Is make sure you're creating content where your audience is hanging out.
Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and share so we can help more people transform the way they sell.